This is Pastor Tim coming to you from Bend and Lomita United Methodist Churches in the middle of Central Texas. Doing a large ministry in a small place. We are doing a Bible series because we feel that there's not enough Bible knowledge, that people need to know the background so that they can then dive into the Bible, share it with one another and discuss it and find out what the ramifications, what the meaning is for their lives. The Bible is the kind of the foundation of the Christian faith. That's where we receive our experience with Jesus. So we're looking at some of the Old Testament stories, some of the events. We've been talking about Moses and coming to the Promised Land, and he didn't go in, but Joshua got to go. And there's an interesting story as they were trying to take over the Promised Land. They came to Jericho, and Jericho was a walled city in which there was a prostitute named Rahab. And she, one of the things that she did was that when the Hebrews sent a spy or two spies in to go check out, they stayed to her house, and she hid them inside her house when the people from Jericho, the army, was looking for them. She said that they had come, but that she didn't know where they came from or where they went, and protected them, which is going to have a large effect on her, and it's also on the future. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the spies surveyed the land, and they came out and told Joshua. And the Lord told Joshua, what you're going to do is you're going to get the 7 priests to walk around the city 7 times and blow 7 horns, ram's horns. And they proceeded to do that. And then on the 7th day, the walls came tumbling down. That's the old story. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho for 7 days. And one of the things that happened was that Joshua said, protect the Rahab and the ones that are with her, so that they would survive in the resulting battle that would come. And that's one of the interesting stories, because Rahab becomes part of the line of Jesus, so that Jesus had a very mixed ancestry in his background. He had King David, and he also had Gentiles, and he had a prostitute. So it shows that God uses all kinds of people for all kinds of things, and that not necessarily that is the battle is not necessarily the thing, but it's the faithful following of God's promises that brings a successful outcome, or brings about what God wants to happen. We can't always control things. We can't always use it by force. And more often than not, God is a God of peace. God is a God of love, who loves all of God's children. Sometimes we mistake the battles in the Old Testament as being proof that God is a warring God. God is a vengeful God. And I don't think that's the case, even though at times it seems like that in the Old Testament or in the Hebrew Bible. But very often God takes away judgment and restores people. That's the way that God works. So this was a battle that was won not by swords, but by faithfulness and the blowing of ram's horns. And the one who got saved out of that whole situation was a prostitute who helped out. So anybody who helps out in God's cause is going to be rewarded. I hope that's an interesting tale, a part of the story that we sometimes miss out on. But it's God uses all kinds of people in all kinds of ways. I'll see you next time.